We got dark side of van life trend. 1 van, 10 kids, visual venture. First time doing a reaction in a little minute. I miss y'all. Can I get some cutouts? I got you, bro.
You chose the road life, didn't you?
Living in a van sounds like a dream.
Yo, I combed out 2 of my dreads, bro. So I got 2 strands in because, bro, my hair look crazy. Like, it's literally not even a dread no more. It's just like fluff. Y'all think I should comb my dreads out and get cornrows? I'm thinking about it, bro. Yeah.
No rent, no routine, just freedom.
It's so
But
hot
sometimes
outside.
van life doesn't set people free. It puts them
I had to comb 2 of them out because they was too skinny. So I had to like restart like 2 of them.
in a prison. Today we'll explore the dark side of the van life trend that turned into a nightmare for many. So my goal this year is to give you guys double the amount of videos without sacrificing quality, and to do that we got to keep growing. So 68% of you guys aren't subscribed, and it would mean the world to me if you did, and I promise to give you more fire content. I'm Visual Venture. You are awesome.
Thank you, bro. I
A tough
appreciate that.
adventure. The van life trend started with
Bro, your forehead punching already. Yo, back up, bro. I don't want to spend $30 on Chick-fil-A, but like I might have to, bro. I'm out. But $30 is $30, bro. That's a lot of money, bro.
this guy living in a van. He drove around taking pictures of beaches, campfires, and sunsets. On Instagram, he said he was starting a photo project called #vanlife. It looked awesome, so thousands followed his lead. They quit their jobs, moved into vans, and hit the road. But for a lot of people, it didn't lead to peace or freedom. It led to misery. One of the most famous van life families was called the family of nomads. It was a mom, dad, and their 3 kids living in an RV.
We're family nomads, and we are family 5, and we're traveling the United States in our camper.
At first, people loved them. They got comments
Yo,
like,
Church, I
I am
appreciate
so
the follow.
inspired by you guys. You live every day to the fullest. Thanks for letting us share your adventures. Then the viewers noticed something. One of the kids didn't smile
30 is 6 PBM subs, huh? What do you mean?
much. Her name was Addison. She always seemed
You're not
quiet,
real.
uncomfortable. Viewers thought she was just shy. Then something happened that made people worried. The whole family appeared on a TV interview.
Joining us now, Jessica and Dove McCorkle and their kids, Addison, Grace, and TJ. Good morning.
Nah, I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna say the prediction in my head. If it comes out true, I'm gonna say that I thought that.
The parents smiled, the little kids waved, but Addison just sat there, looking distant. One comment said Addison was the only one who didn't say hi. You can see how separate and sad she looks. Eventually, people started connecting the dots. Addison was 14, a teenager, but she lived in a van that was always moving. That meant no real friends, no real home, no personal space. Viewers started speaking up for Addison. One wrote, "That poor girl is growing into a new chapter and has no room to grow." After more viewers complained, the parents added curtains. It was supposed to give Addison a little privacy, but the curtains couldn't fix the real problem. On Addison's 15th birthday, she made a special request. She wanted some time out of the van.
For Addison's 15th birthday, the only thing they wanted was to go to a hotel.
At the hotel, Addison said it was nice to have a door. It sounded like a joke, but the message was clear. She was tired of the van life. Then something happened that felt like a cry for help. A post appeared on Reddit. The title was, "I'm a teen in a full-time RV living vlogging family and I can't stand it." The teen
Yo, it was good, Brian. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Why would she do that? I don't think she would do that. She can't be that dumb.
said she was 15 to 17, the oldest kid in the family. She had no privacy or social life. She was also deeply unhappy but couldn't tell her family. At the end of the post, she begged people to stop watching van life family channels. Based on what she wrote, many assumed it was Addison. Then, months after the Reddit post, the family made a big announcement.
Addison has struggled with their mental health for many years. Addison is currently back in treatment and won't be in our content during this time.
Some fans took that as confirmation. Addison was miserable, and maybe she finally snapped. A few months later, the family of nomads quit van life. They sold their RV and moved into a real house. The parents were sad, but the kids looked happier than ever. Because here's the truth, Addison didn't choose the van life. She was just dragged along for the ride. In this next story, van life didn't break a teen. It broke a full-grown adult.
Yo, is hip hop chicken crazy? Crack, 10 o'clock in the morning is insane, though.
The uncertainty of van life. Van life can potentially be damaging to your health. One study found that living in small, crowded spaces elevates blood pressure, heart rate, and
Holy shit, you need
irritability.
to die.
That's exactly what happened to Chris Wright. In 2017, Chris and his fiancée started van life. They wanted to explore the country in an authentic way. But even before they hit the road, things got weird. Chris started having nightmares. Every dream ended the same way.
Bro, I want the chicken minis, bro, but if I go in person, don't come out the dreads, because then we need new cutouts. Bro, I'm not coming out the dreads. I was just joking. I only had to come out too because they were uneven and short. Uneven. Uneven
failed and
and
the van
small.
crashed. The nightmares continued for months. By the time they hit the road, Chris was terrified. Each time he drove, the same thoughts played in his head. What if the engine fails? What if I crash? What if we get stranded and no one comes? That's something most van lifers don't talk about. The endless what ifs. Because living in a van means nothing is guaranteed. That uncertainty creates anxiety, and for Chris, it wore him down. Chris became irritable. He and his fiancée were always fighting. What was meant to be a romantic trip nearly ruined their relationship. Then the van broke down. They had to move back in with their parents.
I wouldn't be nowhere,
They gave
bro.
up on van life for good. But van life doesn't just
All right, bro, we gotta hit 25K on Twitch before I graduate. Y'all ready? No, spread the word. Come on.
mess with your head. For some people, it destroys their money too. Meet Natasha Scott. She discovered van life through TikTok, and she decided to try living in a van because TikToks made it seem so easy. In 2021, she bought a van and hit the road. Her plan was simple: get a remote job, travel the country, post it all online. But that plan fell apart fast. First, she couldn't find...
Can you find new channels to react to? Yeah, I do need to find new channels, bro. Visual Venture Fire. I've been reacting to, like, it's just been Pete's Visual Venture and Duke. Like, I have no I have no like variety, bro. But like, I don't know what else to watch.
find work. She downloaded about 18 apps to apply for remote jobs. Nothing worked. Then her savings ran out. She had no money for food or gas. She started selling her clothes just to survive. And that's when it hit her. She wasn't on a road trip anymore. She was homeless. In 2022, Natasha quit van life and moved into a cheap hotel. She slowly rebuilt her life. Then she went online to warn others. Chris and Natasha both chased the van life dream, but their stories made one thing clear: van life is a gamble, and if you lose, you could lose everything. The next van life problem involves cameras. Using kids for content.
I don't know, bro.
In van life, the kids aren't just living on the road. They're growing up on camera, because posting online isn't just part of the lifestyle, it is the lifestyle. The Bethunes are a great example. Their YouTube banner says it all. 2 adults, 3 kids, 4 dogs living in a bus.
Ew.
They post vlogs twice a week and live stream twice a month.
I know
They're
it's
a
real
loving
crazy in
family, but not everyone liked what they were posting.
seen
On
even about
Reddit,
America?
viewers started calling them out. Someone
Yes,
said
it-
the kids do a lot of chores while the mom just films TikToks.
You don't get
Another
drafted?
comment accused the
Nah, I can't. You might though, cause you 18 and shit, but nah, I can't.
mom of posting videos about her and her husband fighting. But the clip with the biggest backlash was the punishment video. In one vlog, they filmed their daughter washing dishes as punishment.
Last night, Molly chose not to do her chores.
They about to
And if
get
our
you.
kids don't do their chores, they have consequences.
That might sound like normal
You better-
parenting,
you
but
better
there's another
manage, boy.
element to this. Imagine that you're a kid,
Putting
you
all the
mess
stop
up at
signs down.
home, and the next
I hope they take Lamar out first. Lamar Jackson will go to jail before he fights for this nation. And I don't piss me off, bro. Don't piss me off, bro. Like, niggas can't even say good morning, bro. I hope they take Lamar first, bro.
Next morning, your punishment is online for everyone to watch. That's no longer discipline, it's humiliation. Viewers complained, but the parents defended themselves.
If you believe that children shouldn't have consequences and shouldn't have responsibilities, we're really freaking doomed as a society.
And I agree, but the thing is, people weren't mad about the punishment. They were mad that it was turned into content. The Bethunes uploaded hundreds of videos, but in March 2025, they suddenly quit YouTube.
This will be the last video we're uploading
Then
to
they
this
quit.
channel.
And maybe, just maybe, that's a good thing, because now their kids can spend more time off camera.
So me
We've
and
seen
Brian
how
good.
van life can destroy privacy.
Quan,
What happens
man,
when
you
it
like
becomes
30.
physically dangerous?
Quan too old to get drafted.
Sick, alone, and trapped in a van.
Oh my
In January 2020, a van lifer got sick. He was living alone in his van when it hit him. It started like a regular cold, but soon he was coughing up fluid. He also felt dizzy, but instead of getting help, he tried to tough it out in his van. That was a big mistake. He got weaker, he started drifting in and out of consciousness. Finally, he forced himself to drive to a hospital. Doctors ran some tests. They said his oxygen levels were incredibly low. Doctors said that because he didn't get help in time, it permanently damaged his lungs. Now he lives with chronic pain and fatigue. In 2023, he shared a story to warn others. When you live in a van, you're alone. And if something goes wrong, you're on your own. But falling ill isn't the only danger. Sometimes the real threat is other people on the road. In March 2025, a van lifer named Casey posted a video. It was called "A Stranger Knocked on My Van," an unsettling morning of solo van life. And her story was terrifying. It started early one morning, around 7 a.m.
There's really a community for everything in this planet on Earth, bro. You got flat earthers, van lifers, food eaters, stream watchers. Like, it's really everything in this world that you could ever imagine. You furries, like, yo, like, everybody got their own thing, bro.
She woke up in her van. She was parked in a remote area. And then she noticed a black car slowly driving past. She didn't think much of it, but 5 minutes later, she saw the car again.
The same car came back down the road and pulled off into the same lot as us and actually drove behind the van.
From her window, Casey could see two men sitting in the car. They pulled up right beside her van and honked. Casey was frozen in fear. One of them got out and knocked on her window. She grabbed something to defend herself, but she stayed silent. After a long moment, the man got back into the car and left. Casey knew she had to move, but she didn't know the area. She had no friends nearby. She pulled out her phone to look for a safe spot. And then they came back.
30 to 45 minutes later, the same car comes back down the road and pulls off on a street just up the road.
They were still watching her van, still waiting. Casey didn't wait around to find out what they wanted. She started her van and sped to the nearest restaurant. She never saw the men again. Casey learned a lesson that day. Van life can leave you vulnerable, and if something happens, there's no neighbors to hear you scream. This next chapter is about how van life impacts the future of the kids growing up in it. Uneducated kids. There's an education crisis in van life, and no channel shows that better than Wild Family Life. The channel is run by a van lifer named Nadine. She lives in a van.
What weapons do they got? That determines if I care. If you tell me the new Brawlhalla character got axe and some skimtars, I don't give a fuck.
And with her three.
Now if they have a scythe and a sword, or maybe even an orb, I'll care. But don't talk me about no
kids, ex-husband and boyfriend. You heard that right. The family dynamic is unusual, and the way she met her boyfriend is equally strange.
When you randomly meet a homeless on the streets in Portugal, 3 months later, he moves into your camper.
But the most concerning part of her story isn't the boyfriend, it's her kids' education. Nadine claims she homeschools her kids, but what she describes doesn't sound like homeschooling at all. She calls it unschooling or world schooling, sometimes even travel schooling. She tried to explain it in one of her videos.
Like, we have this app my kids learning with. They set their times each day. They do that by themselves. There's nothing I have to do.
There's no schedule, no curriculum, no supervision. The kids just open an app and teach themselves. Viewers were worried. They said kids need structure and someone to check their progress. To them, Nadine was jeopardizing her kids' education, but she didn't want to hear it.
People think, oh,
she got dreads. I had dreads longer than mine.
Children, they wake up with a smile in their face. They go to bed with a smile in their face.
But if Nadine wasn't spending time on her kids' education, what was she doing? She was making content.
Yeah, how do we get money for food, gasoline, and everything else we need for a living? We work online. We work with Instagram. We work with YouTube.
YouTube and Instagram pays the bills, and just like we saw earlier, some van lifers don't.
Yo, how I get Instagram and YouTube to pay my bills? Yo, by the way, go subscribe to the vlog channel. You know you vlog with it.
Make content. They build their entire life around it, even at the cost of their kids' education. Up next is a tragic van life story because it ended with someone in a casket. The van life trip that ended in tragedy. In July 2021, Gabby Petito went on a road trip with her fiance, Brian Laundrie. They planned to travel the country.
Oh, you meant... Bro, I thought you meant shake again. Bro, you think you funny, bro. I didn't realize what you were saying until I started shaking the cup, bro. It didn't really register in my brain. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Live in a van and post it online. They even set up a YouTube channel for their content. The early videos looked perfect. Gabby and Brian looked happy.
We are right outside Capitol Reef right now in a free dispersed camp spot.
But behind the smiles, tension was building. Later videos showed Brian looking distant or annoyed.
We have this nice big open floor for you to keep your dirty feet.
Nigga said jump rope. Boy, slow down. I still ain't learned how to do that shit. There's not enough room in here to jump rope, bro. I'm gonna give y'all 20 jump ropes when I learn how to like jump rope.
Eventually, they got into a big fight outside a grocery store.
How do you know the story?
Someone saw it and called the police. When the cops arrived, Gabby was crying. They both tried to downplay it. Brian said it was just...
Can't do one jump rope. I can do a jump rope, right? But like, I can't do it consistently. That's why I got the jump rope, to learn how to jump rope. Because jump roping is actually a good form of cardio. And it, like, you know, it helps you in life. So I was like, yo, let me learn how to jump rope. I seen this video too. Am I the only one that's never heard of it? This shit ain't hard. Yo, Brian, you're an alcoholic. You relate to everything, Chip? All right.
Misunderstanding that escalated.
You want to tell me about those scratches on your face? She had a cell phone in her hand. That's why I was pushing her away.
No one was arrested, but police ordered them to spend the night apart. So Gabby slept in the van and Brian checked into a motel. The next morning, they continued the road trip, but there was tension between them and their biggest fight was yet to come. Gabby used to text and FaceTime her mom every day, but suddenly the messages slowed down. Then they stopped completely. Her mother knew something was wrong.
And everybody was like, she's fine, she's fine. They're out in the mountains, they have no signal. And I said, no, it's not like her.
Around that time, Gabby also stopped posting on Instagram. That was really unusual. Then came the moment that changed everything. On September 1st, Brian returned home with the van, but he was alone. When Gabby's family asked where she was, Brian said nothing. So Gabby's family reported her missing. But before the cops could question Brian, he went on the run. Everyone was asking the same question. What happened in that van? The news of Gabby's disappearance went viral. The police appealed to the public for help. The search began. And on September 19th, they found Gabby, but it was too late. Gabby was gone. According to the autopsy, someone took her life. Her family and friends were devastated. Even van lifers who never met her mourned her loss. But the story wasn't over. Brian was still missing, and most people believed he was the one responsible. The search dragged on for weeks. Then in October, police found Brian. It was too late for him too. His remains were found in an isolated area. Next to his remains was a notebook. Inside, he confessed to ending Gabby. Gabby's case is the most disturbing example of van life gone wrong. Sometimes the real danger isn't the road. It's the person sitting next to you in the van. This video isn't meant to say that life on the road is all bad. Of course it's not, but it's here to show you the full picture. Because remember, on social media, everything looks perfect. Everyone looks happy, but the reality is far from it. So my friends, be grateful for your life as it is and stop comparing yourselves to others
why'd you just do that though?
Visual Venture.
Shout out Visual Venture, man. Good video of van life. It's very dark, very dangerous. Don't do it. And 3 things that just happened in that vid. A girl died, family didn't teach her kids, and a girl almost got robbed because a black car was circling her like 8 times.
It's a YSL. It's a PD. That's my old team. It's a TBT.